Hello, thank you for joining me to day 2 of our Ease into the New Year 15-day series. If you missed day 1, it is a beautiful, gentle, and quick guided meditation to let go of the year behind us so we can prepare and step forward for the new year. So I will link that here if you missed it, also in the description below. But today we are on day 2. It is our foundation. So this is a very beginner-friendly practice, all level friendly. This whole 15-day course is challenge, whatever you want to call it. It is very foundation alignment based. We move slowly and just enjoy ourselves in these traditional postures. So you can expect child's pose, downward facing dog, mountain pose, sun salutation, things like that. We don't need any props for this video, so whenever you're ready, you can grab your mat and we can get going. Arrive on the mat today in easy seat, Sukhasana, feet crossed at the ankles, rooting down through the sit bones and pulling up through the crown of the head, feeling that length in the spine first thing as we maybe close the eyes here for a second or soften our gaze. We begin to breathe deeply, bringing our awareness to the abdomen and the feeling of the breath in the body as it invigorates and rejuvenates every single cell. One big deep breath in through the nose and out through the nose. Blinking the eyes open if we have them closed. On the next inhale, reach the arms above the head. Nice energy reaching up. And exhale, drop this right hand to the mat, sending this left overhead, pressing away as we press the hips down into the mat. Feeling this beautiful stretch on the side of the rib cage here. Just nice and easy, not forcing anything, just building from the foundation up. And on your next exhale, gently release this left hand to the mat, taking the right arm to the left knee. Left hand kind of creeps behind us as we find gentle little twist. Feeling the lower spine start to awaken and detoxify as we twist and wring everything out. Taking a nice inhale and exhale, we come back through center, reaching the arms up. Breathe in and exhale, drop the left hand, reaching that right overhead. Side body stretch on the right side. We keep the chest spiraled open. We don't want to hunch over. We're sitting up nice and tall and strong here. And then exhale, find our twist, taking the left hand to the right knee. And our gaze comes to the side or behind, wherever feels most natural, comfortable. We're finding the ease. Beautiful. Exhale, release back to center to gently come onto the knees. Finding tabletop pose. Spreading wide through the fingers, grounding down through the palms of the hands and the tops of the feet. Checking our alignment, our shoulders are over our wrists, our hips are over our knees. Before we take a few rounds of cat-cow to wake up the spine, we inhale, bring the belly down and chest, and gaze up. Exhale, press through the mat to round the back, tucking the chin into the chest and the tailbone underneath. Moving with the breath, finding the full extension of the spine, whatever that looks and feels like to you. Beautiful. Moving at your own pace, about 2 more rounds. Nice and gentle, wake up. And then meeting back in our tabletop pose. Going to tuck the toes underneath, walk the hands out in front, lifting the hips, coming into our downward facing dog. Pedaling out through the backs of the legs. If we're tight, or if this is our first movement of the day, waking up the legs here. Bending one knee and then the other. Gripping through the fingers, we're pressing the mat away from us with our hands, opening up through the shoulders. We want the head, the ears to hang in between the biceps. As we find our static downward facing dog, big toes together, heels reaching down towards the mat, and hips reaching up, feeling this beautiful length in the entire body. Visualizing our spine extending from tailbone to crown of the head. Take one big breath here. Exhale to release, finding a little bit more length, a little bit more space. And then inhale to gaze at the hands, bend the knees, and gently tiptoe your way up to the front of the mat. Beautiful. Forward folds, keeping a generous bend in the knees again if this is our first movement for a little tight. Inhale, halfway lift, reach through the crown of the head. Beautiful. Exhale, forward folds. We're going to plant the hands here and gently just step back into plank pose. No crazy vinyasas today. We are protracting the shoulders up, sucking the navel into the spine, gripping through the fingers, and slowly, with control, using your core, tuck the elbows into the sides of the ribs as we slowly lower down, bringing our nose to the mat. And then we inhale, lift the chest up high, coming into our upward facing dog. We can untuck the toes. And then exhale, roll over the toes, sending the hips back up, downward facing dog. Beautiful. Making our way to the top of the mat, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift, fingertips can float. They can come to the ankles, the shins, the mat, wherever feels comfortable. Exhale, fold. Inhale, root to rise, hands reach as we lift the chest and the heart to the sky. Palms come together, and exhale, they meet at our heart center, Anjali Mudra. So we'll stay here for a few breaths in mountain pose, really ground through. This is a foundational yoga pose. And we want to really find our building blocks from the ground up. So starting with the feet, gaze down at your lovely little toes. We want our feet hip width apart, grounding through all 4 corners of the feet. So lifting the toes, making sure we are even in the balls of the feet and the heels. We can bring them back down. Coming all the way up, we want a slight micro bend in the knees so we're not locked here. Slight tuck of the pelvis in, lifting up through the chest and the crown of the head. Taking 2 rounds of deep breath, just feeling the energy, feeling this beautiful posture here. And then on your next inhale, reach the arms above the head. And exhale, sink the hips, bending the knees, coming into chair pose. We're sending the hips back like we're sitting in a chair, trying to sit on the heels and the ball of the feet. Nice and strong here. Shoulders are down, away from the ears. Tailbone is slightly tucked underneath. One more breath. Hold, you're strong. Beautiful. And then shift your weight to your right foot, picking up the left. Carefully stepping it back, releasing the knee to the mat, coming into a low lunge shape. So we want the knee over the ankle, not forward. We can have it back a little bit, but not overextended. Inhale and exhale, sink into the hips. Press the pelvis down in towards the mat, opening up through the hip flexor. Inhale, sweep the arms up high. Exhale, send them out to shoulder height. And then crossing them in front of the chest, bringing the right underneath the left, trying to meet palms as we reach our eagle arms up high, rounding through the back, creating space. One big breath here. And exhale, unravel. Bring the fingertips down, framing the foot. Sending the hips back on your exhale, flexing that right foot back at your face. Want to make sure the hips are square here. Nice long spine, reaching up. Connecting back to our breath, to our body. Beautiful. On your next inhale, shift the weight back forward. Tuck the back toe, lifting the knee, coming into warrior one. Arms are high as we pivot that back foot towards the corner and sinking into the hips. So we want to square our hips off to the front of the mat, sinking in. Our heels are aligned with each other and our shoulders are down. Big inhale. Exhale, open the arms, turn to the hips to the side, squeezing the legs together. Our glutes are strong, our quads are active. We're reaching energy out through the fingertips and gazing over the right hand. Beautiful. And we're going to take that left arm behind us, sweep it to the front, pivoting on the ball of that left foot. And when you find your footing, you can step up to the front of the mat and prepare for the other side. So finding our footing here, inhale, reach the arms up, and exhale, sink into chair. Keeping our awareness on our breath as we focus on the alignment and how this feels in our body. Shifting the weight to the left foot, picking up the right leg, reaching it back, and coming into our low lunge. Keeping this back foot tucked or untucked, whatever feels good to you. Inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale, sink into the hips. Sending the arms out, shoulder height. And then reversing the action by taking the left arm, or whichever one you didn't do before, underneath. Keeping these legs knitted together, the thighs internally rotated, so we're not doing one of these that I was kind of doing right there. That's why I noticed it. So we're not doing that. We're knitting together to keep up nice and stable and strong as we open through the upper back. Good. Exhale, release. And send the hips back, half splits, flexing the left foot, keeping the hips square. Reaching through the crown of the head, nice long spine. We don't want to round over the leg. It's okay if we can't go too far, too close. And on your next inhale, shifting the weight forward, coming into our warrior one, nice and carefully. Beautiful. You can always check your alignment if you feel a little off, or maybe if you don't know what that looks like yet in your body. And exhale, open to warrior two. Nice and strong. See if we can go a little bit deeper in this lunge. Then coming back into our high lunge on the ball of the foot. And on your next exhale, rain the fingertips down, framing that left foot and stepping back, coming onto the knees and sending the hips down into child's pose, still reaching these fingertips out, finding length as we melt the heart down as it comes on top of the thighs. Feeling this beautiful stretch, inching the fingertips up a little bit more on the sides of the shoulders, the upper back. Slowing down our breath if it got a little high, and just taking a few moments to feel the blood pumping in our bodies, seeing if we can feel that energy, that friction. And whenever we're ready, we can gently widen the knees, keeping the big toes together, and melt the heart down even deeper, opening through the groins, the inner hips. Maybe resting the forehead on the mat, opening up through the cervical spine. Finding our final surrender here. It's always good to come back to the building blocks of any practice, any habit. On your next inhale, gently raise the head. Creep those fingertips back towards the hips, and we can make our way into bound angle for our last little posture of this fun class. So sending the soles of the feet together, wrapping peace fingers around our big toes, and if we can reach, pulling the feet to help lift our chest. So we're using this opposition here to pull ourselves. We're sending the knees down, opening up through the inner groins. We butterfly the legs a little bit. We have some extra energy we want to use up. And I invite you to close your eyes for a few moments. Roll the shoulders down and back. Just have a few seconds of stillness, of being on the mat. Just giving yourself grace for this hectic time. We let go of whatever we don't need anymore. So we can breathe a little bit easier. Relieve some of that stress, especially during the holiday time. And this is where I leave you today. And I thank you for joining me in this practice, in this 15-day ease into the new year. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope I'll see you tomorrow for day 3, which is energy. Get that energy moving. The light in me honors the unique and beautiful light in you. I thank you again for joining me and sharing your practice. It's always such an honor to be here with you on the mat. Namaste, my friends.